They want every single one of us to agree to be given a personal carbon allowance, and that is in tons of CO2 per year. By their ridiculous calculations, someone like me or you is using 20 plus tons of CO2 per year. According to their calculations on climate change, unless we get the global population down to an average of 1.5 to 2 tons of CO2 per person per year, we're all going to die of climate change. So under the guise of saving mankind, they want to reduce your so-called carbon footprint, which is your actual footprint. Everywhere you go, everything you purchase, the types of clothes you purchase, the types of food you purchase, the types of transportation you use is all going to be calculated and given a so-called carbon rating. What happens if you go over your carbon rating? Well, guess what? They're going to charge you for every ton you go over. So for every ton of carbon you go over your monthly limit, they're going to charge you $170. So for somebody like me that would go 20 to 30 tons over the legal limit yearly, that would be around an extra $5,000 a year just in carbon taxes I'd pay, not calculating all the other increasing costs of inflation on every thing we're buying. Now, multiply that if you have a family, a wife, and 2 kids. So you'll be paying $5,000 in taxes per person. So that will be $20,000 per family to try to live the same way as you were living in 2030 as today. So when you combine the inflation where everything you're getting, your food, your water, your electricity, your gas, your groceries, is going up like crazy, and now they're going to add this extra carbon tax in there, you're completely screwed. And then all they got to do at that point, because everybody's going to be suffering to make ends meet, is bring out the universal basic income. And then, of course, in order for you to obtain the universal basic income, which you're going to need to feed yourself and get around, you're going to have to submit to the digital identity. And, of course, in the digital identity, you're going to have to give up your DNA, your facial recognition, your iris, your fingerprints. You're going to have to submit to the vaccination. And at that point, they're going to get you on a digital currency. So now when you combine the 15-minute city with the carbon credits, with the universal basic income, with the digital identity and a digital currency, you have a recipe for having a perpetual slave class for generations and generations to come, and the entire globe under a complete control of a one world unelected government.